invest in something and you hustle and you work for something, you got a different type of attachment to it. You're going to have a cold day of hell for somebody trying to take this from you. We live by this, we die by this. We don't surrender, we don't retreat. Every man must search his own soul. I listen to that quote every morning.
Mr. 180's in the building. Let's go. We go live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. 180. Listen, what's up? What's happening? It's your boy, Mr. 180. You already know what time it is. It's time for you to get those phones out. When y'all use them Twitter thumbs, them Instagram thumbs, I need you to hit that button. Look at that. Yeah. That's what we need right now. We need you to hit that share button, hit that like button, turn on those post notifications because Mr. 180 is on the air. And I am hitting that share button. Today, we have such a special show for you. I have such a special show that is going to go down. Tune in. I know y'all like, man, why is he looking at his phone? Because I got to make sure that everybody that I rock with, they come and check out the show today. Today, I got the very own, the wonderful, the beautiful Miss Felicia Shantell. She's going to be telling us about her new her up and coming, not new, it's not new. I believe we're on a 10-year anniversary. She's going to be telling us about what she has going on and how it is this year is going to be totally different. She has an award show and things are going so great. So I need you guys to tune in, turn on those post notifications, turn on the share button, check in with me. I'm waiting on her to come back on the screen once she comes back on the screen. But until then, y'all, we got a couple things going on this week. Check this out.
K Zamore Production presents the hit gospel stage play, Deadly Sins, coming to the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, August 17th. One day, 2 shows. Tickets available on Ticketmaster and the T-Ball box office. The hit gospel stage play, Deadly Sins, starring Wilmo Leon, Kaylin Wilkerson, and Dallas's own CC Godbolt. The hit gospel stage play, Deadly Sins.
Listen, you want to make sure that you're in the building. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, make sure that you are in the building. But we're not going to make her wait long. We are going to bring her on up. We are excited to talk about what's going on. Y'all make some noise. Shoot some hearts for Miss Felicia Shantell. You are on mute, girl. You got to unmute. There we go. What's up? What's happening?
Hey. How y'all doing?
Listen. So you have a big event coming up. And I am so excited to be a part of it. So I'm not gonna take over your space, but I'm gonna just put this up. Tell us about it. Let's talk.
Oh, y'all see that? Oh my gosh. Okay, so peep this. This is my name is Felicia Shantell. I am the curator and one of the executive producers behind the 10th annual Armor Survivor Seminar. This event has been going on for, like I said, 10 years. It started out in a little small church in Southeast Houston, and we have grown to the fact that we have touched millions across this country. We had to go virtual back in 2020 with the pandemic. We've been congressionally recognized. We have been recognized by the state of Texas. Congressionally recognized by the President of the United States. I mean, we have been recognized across the board with this event. And what this event is an artistic counseling event where I gather with artists from around the city of Houston and now across the state of Texas. Shout out to Mr. 180 for being a part of it more than just 1 year. And we counsel to the community through different forms of art. And what's crazy is that we have gotten to the point where it's not just about just poetry and music and dance and theater, even though we keep that in it. But now we've gotten to the point where now we literally have keynote speakers, motivational speakers, things of that nature to come on out and really share their testimony. We have been able to give back roses to survivors for just saying, "Hey, I made it. I lived to see the through live through the night. I made it to see daylight. Or I I got out and I'm still here. I'm still
Yeah.
making it. I'm not. I didn't die. I live to tell the story.
Yeah.
Like we have people who literally have made it through crises, especially and honestly, us in Houston and surrounding cities, like we made it through the storm last week. It's
Yeah.
people who still without lights. So surviving is not something that's just like for a particular type of thing. It's for everything in life. If you
Mhm.
survive in life right now, you are a survivor. And that's the thing that we try to focus on so much with this event.
Wow. Wow. So you're going on 10 years this year.
Yes.
Um, let's talk about how important this year is. Not saying that the other 9 years were not important, but this year is so important. And what did you do different this year?
So usually throughout the over the years, we open up the floor to everyone. Like and the floor is always open up to everyone. But this year in particular, um, I was led to letting the men um tell their story. And when I say that, of course we have men every single year, men, women, everything. We have it every single year, but this year particularly, I was led to l- stepping back, telling the women, "Hey, let's step back for a second,
Yeah.
and let the men take the floor."
Wow.
Because what I've realized, and this is, and I've been fortunate enough to work with young men, as far as children, and also colleagues and men in the community, and they talk to me and they tell me, "Yo, see, I don't feel heard. I don't feel
Yeah.
like my voice is being I don't know. I don't think people listening to me." Or it could be when people are in relationships and they like their counterparts is like, "Yo, like I hear her, she don't hear me." And literally it be just that. Or even with kids, when we talk about little boys, they're taught at a young age, don't cry,
Right.
don't show weakness, don't do this, don't do that. And we don't know we don't see how that plays a part when they get older, and then all of a sudden we try to figure out, well, why you don't like to show emotions, why you don't do this, why you don't do that. Well, they've been trained that way. So this year it's time for I feel like it's time for us as women to kind of just sit down and say, you know
Hmm.
what, I want to understand you, I want to hear you, I want to show you that I love you. So let
Wow.
me just be quiet and listen, or
Wow.
let me ask you how you feel today.
Wow. Wow. And that's crazy because as men, you know, we carry a lot of things on our shoulders,
Yeah.
and 80% of men don't show their emotions. They don't say if something is bothering them, you know. I can actually concur with that. As an entrepreneur, I have to remind so many people, I'm still a husband, and I'm still a father, and I'm still a provider,
Yeah.
and I still have to drive my boat. I call my house the boat. I still have to drive it. Yes, I might be out of town or in a different state, a different country, and I let my wife kind of guide it. But at the end of the day, the main stuff is the main stuff, and I try to make sure that I take care of business. So sometimes it can get overwhelming. Let's talk about the mental health part of it. Let's
Yeah.
jump into that because you have a big presence on mental health, and I don't think that everybody really knows how strong everything that you do goes back to mental health. So tap into that for me.
So when it comes down to just understanding where someone is coming from, if have you ever thought to ask that question, are you okay?
Wow.
You never really know how someone really feels until you ask that question, because I know recently been asked that question, and I might be okay
Mm-hmm.
until someone asks me that, and then all of a sudden the tears start coming, and you try to figure
Right.
out, why is these tears coming,
Right.
or you just start feeling all these different emotions. So when it comes down to this event, the biggest thing is asking our men, "Are you okay today?"
Wow.
You'll be surprised at how many will literally say, "You know what, I I'm not okay,"
Wow.
but and I'm like, "Well, why you don't tell no one?" And the first thing they said, "Because do you really care?
Wow.
Do you really want to know why I'm not okay today, or are you just?" And these are questions that they literally would ask in return, like, "Are you sure you want to know why I'm not okay, or are you just asking just so you can feel good at the end of the day?" Like,
Right.
we as women, we have to get to a point where we are sincere within our questions and being very detailed with it, because you can change someone's mindset. A lot of men have gone through, and if I'm wrong, please stop me and let me know, like, "Hey, you wrong on this." But all stuff that I've heard when it comes down to the men mental health is that they don't have moments when they relax. And if they are relaxed, how many times are they being stopped in that process? I know, like, some men like to, whether your fix is getting high, maybe that's your chance to relax, or playing a video game, or going out for a walk, going out for a jog. Sometimes that man might just say, "Hey, you know what? At this moment in time, I just need silence."
Yeah.
But how many times do we let him actually have that silence? After
Yeah.
that long day of work, how many times have you actually asked him, "How was your day?" Instead, we come in the house and we like, and he's like, "Oh, it was quiet."
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we have to get to a point where we are taking in consideration of other people's feelings. Also, not being above apologizing,
Wow.
taking accountability of our actions.
Right.
Sometimes, and I'm me as a woman, I can sit here and contest to this, is that maybe, just maybe, I'm the one wrong in the situation.
Right.
Maybe I do need to listen a little bit more, and like, okay, you have a point there. But at the same time, now once we get to that point, now we have to come together on this
Right.
and meet in the middle. Okay, I know I see where I was wrong at.
Mm-hmm.
You see where you was wrong at. Let's meet in the middle, so therefore we can go and actually, so we can actually become as one.
Yeah.
But instead, when one person like, you're wrong, and then all of a sudden the other person like, no, I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never come together on this.
Right.
So unifying, and this don't even have to do anything with relationships. This could
Mm-hmm.
be in your work life. This can be in your family life. This can be in your friendship life. This can just be in a regular person that you see at the corner store. It it's all about coming together and realizing our faults and taking accountability of our actions. But a
Right.
lot of times we don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We rather stay in that mindset. So with the I'm Survivor seminar, is real this year is saying, "Hey, you know what? I want to know how to do this the right way." Even when it comes down, if there's a single mother household and she's raising a son on her own, and you might not know how to go about it, this is that event where you can ask that question, like, "So, what do I need to know about raising a young man? Because I'm not a young man. I'm a woman. I
Yeah.
have no clue of what it takes to raise a young man in this world. I might can show him how a woman is going to treat him, but I can never teach him how to be a man."
Right.
And
Right.
that's being completely real and honest. It's like a man saying, "I can teach a woman how to be a girl how to be a woman." No, you can't.
Right.
That's why it's always called unity. We could have to come together on this. So when it comes down, like I said, when it comes down to that mental health, it's all about taking accountability and literally taking time out for self and understanding what I can deal with, what I can't deal with, what I need to deal with, and coming and seeking the help that I need so therefore we can get to a solution.
Wow. Wow. Listen, so where's the gala, the seminar gonna be held?
It's going to be held at the Unity and Love Multi-Purpose Center off in Spring, Texas. Um, it's on Cypress Wood, if I'm not mistaken, on
Okay.
Cypress Wood Drive.
It's gonna be on
So
the flyer, y'all.
it's going to be on the north side of Houston. I mean, yes, that's the address.
742
um,
Cypresswood Drive, Spring,
yes.
Texas 77373. It doors open at 5. The seminar starts at 6. Everybody, August the 3rd. August the 3rd. Please, 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 please go get your tickets on Eventbrite. Dear Black King, tell the story, the Black Diamond Gala. So, let's talk about some of these people that you have coming. Give us
Oh
a little bit of
yeah.
the lineup.
So I'm gonna start off with the artist, right? I'll tell you that. I'm gonna start off with the host, okay? The host of the event is the one and only Mr. 180,
And
okay?
what's
I
going
just
on?
have to say that. And honestly, everyone a part of this event has been hand chosen based upon not just their story, but because of what their story means to the community, how they've touched the community's life in some way, form, or fashion, or even just touched my life in some way, form, or fashion. Mr. 180 actually was a part of year 8 when we took it to Rosenberg, and he was actually one of the epitome of a survivor recipient, which I was very, very happy to do that for because his story, his testimony itself is so. And I'm talking about him as if it's third person. He's not sitting right here, but his message, his story actually is so profound and so prolific that it just it helps you to understand it doesn't matter where you come from or
Yeah,
what background you have, but you can change your future to see something better.
right.
And he not only did he go from trial have those trials and tribulations, but he transitioned it into something beautiful, a victorious victory. And as you can see, that 180 that's behind him, that 180 life, he did that. He made sure he did a 180 and made sure he turned his life around,
Yeah,
changed it around for his family, changed it around for his wife, his children. Like I said, children.
yeah.
Okay. He did what he had to do. And then we have our um then we have our keynote speaker and highlighted testimonial, Mr. Yolan Young, a poet. Yolan is a poet, and Mr. Ronald C. Lee Jr. Those two, they are both poets in the city of Houston. But here's the thing about their story: they both comes from similar backgrounds. They
Mm,
they both was in the streets heavy when they were younger. One had to go; they got locked up behind bars. The other
mm.
one, he got trapped in those streets, and then but it took them to face the hit rock bottom
Yeah.
for God to say, you know what? Let me pick you back up. Let me
Mm,
show you why I'm about to take you through what I'm about to take you through. So
mhm.
then I said, when they just want Yolanda, he said, I'm gonna get out of the street. He moved his family from where they were to down here to Houston. Same thing with Ronald C. Lee Jr. He After he got out, he moved his family from Chicago down here to Houston. Both transitioned their emotions into their art form. They both utilized poetry for what it really was and to share their story. One became an actor, a poet. He has his own nonprofit organization to make sure he giving back to the community. He also spreads love across this community. Ronald C. Lee Jr., he became a poet. He's a motivational speaker. He has his own men's group on Monday nights. He
Wow.
collect, comes together with all men across the community for them to have a safe space to share their emotions, their testimonies, everything on Monday night. So to see how they turned their life around, not just for themselves, but they also turned it around for their families because they did not want their
Yeah,
families to continue to go through that
yeah.
same turmoil that they went through when they was in the previous city and state they was in. Then you have um, our our highlighted our artistic testimonials and counselors. So we have Abstract. Abstract, he's a dancer out here in the city of Houston. He's been dancing his whole entire life.
Wow.
When back in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
he got in a truck accident where he was told he would never dance again.
Wow.
So he didn't know what to do because usually when he dances, he feels free. That's his way. That's how puts his he puts his emotions, he puts his what he goes through into his art form. So the fact that he didn't have dance no more, he didn't know what to do. He went into the deep depression, and that's when he was driven into writing.
Wow.
So he started writing his emotions. So now all of a sudden he was able to make the dance. He put dance moves into writing, and he started creating abstract type of poetry and not just abstract dance moves. Then
Right.
all of a sudden, back in 2022, he started up his own podcast called Black Sheep Podcast, where
Wow.
he enlightens and informs the community and empowers the community. So
Mhm.
he is literally what you would call what a survivor.
A
The
survivor.
epitome of what a survivor does. He does not just stay down. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna take what I've been through and I'm gonna transition it. I'm going to turn it around. So therefore, I have a new outlet. That see, oh, I was about to get ready to say, but God, see
Right.
what God would do is turn your negatives into positives
I'm
every single
on.
time.
I'm
Come on,
on.
I can't just keep it down. And then you have um so now we're moving over to DJ Nightingale. So DJ Nightingale, he is an actor, but most of all, he's a singer. He's a actor, he's a writer, he's a singer, he's a poet, he's a
Mm-hmm.
um I met this young man a couple of years ago. And when I met him, I'm one of those ones. I sit in the back of the room and I observe what's going on. I observe the art. I observe the music. I don't really say much, but it's only like so many people that really gets my attention. And when
Mm-hmm.
he came out into the audience, I heard him singing. This man hit a falsetto note, like I was like, "Whoa, where
Wow.
did that come from?"
Yeah.
So I was captivated by that. And I was like, well, let me book him on another. I want to book him. But by me booking him, I got the chance to understand him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one time when we had a real in-depth conversation. And you never know, when I said at first, you never know what someone's going through until you ask them, are you okay?
Wow.
Because I asked that question. And he says, no, no fee. I'm not. And I said, well, I'm here. I'm here to listen. And literally, I stopped talking and I just let him talk. I
Wow.
let him vent. And by letting someone vent, that's when the waterworks come. And see, God needs you to break all the way down so he can build you back up. See,
Wow. Yeah.
we we when we stay he when we break down, it's something about it because he's like, he needs to get us at a humble stage
Yeah.
in order for him to understand what we're really going through. And so he can build us back up so we can
Right.
walk back into the world and be confident. So we can keep our head held high. So we don't show weakness to the enemy because the enemy is looking for us to show weakness. The enemy is looking for us to break down. He's not looking for us to stay strong. He don't want us to stay strong.
Yeah.
But see, with God is going to make sure that he like turn to me when you need to cry. Turn
Yeah.
to me when you need to break down.
Yeah.
Turn to me when you need to grab the hem of my garment. Turn to me. I got you.
Wow.
And that's what he had to do that day. He had to break all the way down. I said, okay, now let's pray.
Yeah.
Because that prayer keeps him strong. That prayer gave him back that strength that he needed. So
Mm.
therefore, I'm like, now that you prayed, now I need you to breathe.
Wow.
And I was like, and when you breathe in you breathe in the positivity, you breathe in God's air, you breathe in the love, you breathe in what God has for you, you breathe in the promise, you breathe in the affirmations, you breathe in what God has for you, you breathe in the calling.
Yeah.
and you breathe out all the negativity, all the things that the devil meant to dis- all the things that the devil was trying to do to destroy you. You breathe all that out. You like, get that out of your system. You don't need it in your system because in order for you to go throughout life, you have to let go and let God. Something I did this past Sunday. I'm sorry. Something I did this
So
past
do
Sunday.
your
I'm
thing, do you?
about
I'm with
Sunday.
you. I'm with
It
you.
was something about reset. So you have to reset some things. God is trying to reset you right now. And if you are still holding on to some things, he can't do what he needs to do. And see, that day when I talked to DJ, that day I talked to him. That was the day when he was like, you know what, Fee, I needed this because I didn't know how I was going to go about this. I didn't know how I was going to get out of this situation. I'm like, but with God, you can get out of any situation. You just have to trust him and let him do what he got to do. Now, from DJ, we have a poet by the name of Red Lion.
Okay.
Red Lion is one of the top notch poets down here in Houston, Texas. I've
Okay.
been knowing this young man for about 7, 10, about 50, as long as I've been in poetry, 16 years.
Wow.
And he has graced the stage across this country, but his words touch. It's something about that wordplay. So, see, God gives us what I would say is when it comes down to poetry, is that God gives us a silver lining inside of poetry. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore we can so if you're not ready for it, it's gonna go over your head. But see, when it comes down to it, if you really listening, you have to come in with an open heart so you can be able to receive it. So therefore, it doesn't go over your head and goes right to your eardrums. And if you listen close enough, it'll start breaking down for you. So therefore, it's plain and clear, and it's not like nails on a chalkboard.
Wow.
So you
Yeah.
have to be able to take into that. Man, shout out to Red Lion. And then we're gonna also have Mr. De Niro Robertson, aka Crazy Ass Nero. Crazy
Okay.
Ass Nero. He's a comedian down here in the city of Houston. Um, One thing about this young man that when I first heard him do comedy, I was like, this dude is really funny. My mama favorite comedian, my daddy favorite comedian. I was like, wow, this guy is really funny. And then I start to get to know his family because he invited us out to a comedy show for I think it was for either his birthday or his wife's birthday. And his whole family was there. And I started following him on Facebook after that. Started realizing he had a lot of kids. I was like, "How old are you, sir?" Because I thought he
Wow.
was younger than me. I said, "How
Yeah.
old are you?" He's like, "I'm like 30 something." I'm like, "You younger than me?" Wow. He have nine. I think he have 9, 10. He
Oh, that's
got
a lot of people.
he got some cheering.
Yeah.
But the bless. But then all of a sudden I'm like, and I'm. But then I had to realize they were all by the same mother. He's
Oh wow.
married. And I was like, that's what Survivor is right there.
Yeah.
He took, he said, I'm not gonna go out here and make a lot of children with a lot of different women. And I'm a that's my queen right there.
Wow.
And that's my wife. And that's who I gotta provide for. That's who I have to take care of. So he took his comedy, he took his career, he took everything that he's doing, and he's like, I'm doing this to take care of them. But again, when do I wonder when is that young man is asked, are you okay today? See, it's the strong ones you gotta ask these questions to, the ones who go out there tirelessly and work and get it done. We gotta like Mr. 180, we gotta ask him, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because we don't know how he's feeling today. He just got up and started moving. We
Yeah.
gotta ask people like Yolan, are you okay today? He
Yeah.
might be hurting. He for the fact that he got congested heart failure. We gotta ask him, are you okay today? You just out here just getting to the movie scenes and you on these big screens, you up here doing this, you doing that, but are you okay today?
Yeah.
We gotta ask, we gotta ask people like Ronald C. Lee Jr. You have to ask people like Abstract. We gotta ask these people. We gotta ask these men, are you okay today? It's not just them asking us. We have to ask them because they always ask. Y'all always ask us, baby,
Yeah.
are you okay today? You
Yeah.
had a good day today? Yeah, day today. See, y'all ask us those questions, but do we ask you guys that question
Yeah.
and sincerely want to know the answer? Or we
Right.
just asking just to be asking? And
Wow.
then with our panelists, because not only do we give those motivational speaking, do not only just give those testimonials, not only are we giving the counseling, but we're doing the panelists. So we allowing you guys to, so we as the women, we in the audience, we're asking those questions.
Yeah.
We say, so what do it take for a woman to understand you a little bit better? Like what it take? Or what is something that you wish you could have done differently? What is something that you wish you could tell your 17-year-old self? If you could tell your 17-year-old self something that from the things you know now, what is something you would tell that person? How,
Wow.
like, the same questions that you guys would ask us, it's time to ask y'all the same questions.
Wow.
Because it's time not, because this event is not just for it to help us, but to help y'all too, to help us all get to a point of healing.
Yeah.
And right now, our country is hurting.
Yeah.
Our black men are hurting. Our black women are hurting. And it's only because there's no unity. See, we've been trained to be against each other, to be at odds with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We was not trained to get along. We was not trained to genuinely love each other for what it
Right.
is. We was not trained to say, you know what, money is not the factor. Maybe it
Mm-hmm.
is about love, but we have to get back to the love. So therefore, we understand that everything else comes after. See, and if we get back to the love, then we can start to love each other as God loves us. But in order for we to love each other as God loves us, we have to be able to put some things to the side and say, you know what? Let's come together. Let's talk. Let's understand each other and where we are at. Let's
Mm-hmm.
meet each other in the middle. So I know I could talk almost all day.
No, you're good. You're good. Listen, everybody, make sure that you go get your tickets. Get your tickets. Get your tickets. Mr. 180 wants to meet you there. If you don't want to go for nothing else, I know y'all want to come for a great, great show, but I will be in the building and I want to meet all of your beautiful, wonderful, wonderful faces. I want to take pictures. I want to have a good time. But again, I want to watch people be healed. I want to watch people be delivered, and I want people to be set free. So no matter what, please make sure you come and support. Come support my girl Felicia Shantell. And I definitely can concur. I could talk to, but let me explain something. I love the message that you're giving out. I'm gonna give you guys a real scenario. Just a couple weeks ago, everybody see me in Los Angeles, California, and I was working and didn't know that 4 days before that I was in Atlanta, and then 3 days before that I was in Colorado, and then 2 days before that I was in Dallas. And then God has been blessing me to be booked and busy. And everybody, I don't complain much because I don't want no one to feel that I have a complaint for my career. But it was on the travel to Los Angeles that I just had like a moment, almost a whole breakdown moment where it was just like I'm not okay. I'm working
Yeah.
and I'm doing this and I miss my kids and I miss my wife and I miss my family and but you're building a brand and you're reminding yourself, hey, I'm doing this for them. I'm making sure everybody's good. Then on the flip side, because we make sure that everybody is great and you don't do self-love. I know every time I come back home, my wife makes me turn off my phone for a day because
Mm.
I have to rest. My body has to rest. I have my baby, y'all. We're in the studio and my baby's been here. Y'all know Junior has to get his cameo. I'm so sorry, y'all. But say hi. Say hi, people. But it just definitely, I have to explain to people, we're on live, y'all. I apologize if y'all, man, that's so unprofessional. But I'm a
It looks
father
like them.
first. I'm a father first. Um, and I'm grateful to God for the career, and I'm grateful to God for everything around me. But it comes to a point where if you and I like the panel because if you want to know, you have to
Mm.
ask questions. You have to ask questions. And to answer some of the questions that you was asking was, it goes into take your time. What would I tell the 17-year-old me? Take
Yeah,
your time. There's no need to rush. You don't
that
have
part.
to rush. Take it one day at a time. I'm so grateful, y'all. I'm blessed. And everybody that doesn't know, I have 4 children. I'm blessed to have 4 kids. But my 2 little ones, those are my heart and my joy. Not saying my big ones ain't, but my 2 little, this is my heart. But I've learned with the second time around that I have to take my time because I have to be here. I don't want to miss things I missed with my older kids. You know what I'm saying? So it comes to a point where with my babies, like I take my time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, building a brand, it don't got to be built overnight. I'm building a legacy. But also I would say, um and I would give this as the advice: what you do in your teens will reciprocate in your 20s, and what you
That
do
part.
in your 20s will reciprocate in your 30s. I'm in my 30s and I have 2 babies under 2, but the reason why I say take your time, because God knew what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And he knew how I could be out here with 5 different baby mamas. And then I finally found my wife, and things start happening, and then it be drama. So God knows what he's doing. Take your time. It's never too late to chase after your dreams. Um, and write it down and make it plain. The Bible says that
Mm.
write the vision, make it plain, and God will open the door, and God
Yeah.
will make things happen. I told y'all he don't stay for long, y'all. He only wants a cameo. Um, God will make the vision come to pass. If God said it, I believe it. That settles it. And I believe and decree and declare, no matter what a person is going through, they have to continue to keep pushing. Right now, where our country is at, our country is in a sense of distress. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Everybody is so divided. What should be happening? But I believe events like this will bring us as a people, and y'all gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna say it. Us as black people, us as humans, we have to come together, because believe it or not, it's so many resources that if we all came together, we could take over. And it's
Yeah.
not your network. It's not how much money you got. You have to build a network of people that will come together. And one thing, 2 things for sure, you will become an overcomer by the words of your testimony. I promise. I just dropped a book last Sunday with some co-authors, and people are texting me, telling me how their lives are being changed, how people are being set free because of the testimonies of other people. So what I'm telling you
Yeah.
today is, you got to come out on the third, right? I think I got the right date.
Yes.
You got to come out August the 3rd, because there's going to be testimonies being said. And how else do you become free? I remember, and I'm a publisher. You get where I'm coming from. I have
Yeah.
been blessed to work with some great people. I've been blessed to work with some not so great people. But then when I read the stories, I've seen a lot of things in my life. And I had to have a moment where, you know what, I could keep on going. Not saying that, my life is so great, but it's not that bad. It could be worse. And guess what? After I read somebody else's story and I listened to their testimony, I said, oh, wow, it could be a
Mm.
lot worse than what
Yeah.
it is. And God began to speak to me that everything I went through, you know, so much stuff I've been through. This is just series 1. God began to tell me it never was for me. It was for that one big-headed black boy with the big head, with the big nose, the big lips, and they might have gotten bullied, and they can't understand why nobody likes them, or they feel alone. And I had to tell somebody in my team this while I was in Los Angeles. I said, yes, I have a great job. I'm grateful. I don't want nobody to feel like I'm complaining, but I was feeling alone, and depression was sinking in. And then, when people look, oh, well, he has the house, he has the cars, he has the children, he has the family. And it's like, Yeah, I do. But this is what I had to explain to my assistant. We had a gathering for one of our kids at our house, and everybody's clapping. Oh, great job, great job, great job. But then I asked myself, how many of you guys are not on payroll? How many of you guys, everybody's on payroll around me. You know, there's let's be real, who really came genuinely? If I would have gave everybody the day off, who would have really truly came? And so then you start realizing, man, my circle only has two or three people in it, and life is life, and so them two or three people are dealing with their own thing. I can't boggle them down because of my situation. You get where I'm coming from? So it
Yeah,
comes to a thing of, hey, when you say hello Black King, and this seminar that you're having is so important to me, because it comes to a point of, I gotta be Mr. 180 even when I don't want to be. I gotta
yeah,
be Mr. 180. I have to be dad to that little boy, and I got a little girl, y'all. Believe it or not, it's three more of them. I gotta be dad no matter if I wake up and want to be or not. You know what I'm saying? I have to be husband through sick in health, and through this and through that, and I gotta still wear that hat. So it's so important to come together as a people
yeah.
to honor these Black men that are doing positivity. Because the
That
minute that I'll never forget when I was on the news, and I was telling a friend this the other day, when I was on the news, y'all shared me 9,000 times, because they were looking for me. Y'all shared me 9,000 times, but now that I'm doing positivity, I can't get you guys to buy a book or to buy a magazine or buy a ticket or come and support. And it's crazy that we got a group of Black men that are teaching positivity, that are teaching the right things, that are pushing the right things, and then I can't get you to support. So yeah, I I
that
I I just
wow.
I want to understand. I want to make sure that people understand that when it comes to positivity and it comes to events like this one, you gotta support. You gotta support. You gotta
Because
support.
when you don't, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, when you don't support an event like this, it makes it seem as if you don't care. And our Black men needs us the most. And I so sincerely mean that, because we've been, when I say we have been pent up against Black men have been pent up against us. It's we need cohesionness. We need to finally coming together. Just recently, there was a situation at work where it was a female and a male, both on the same level, but from um different fields. And because of the fact they couldn't come together, the people underneath them could not come together. And but then I'm saying, one day yesterday they was like, you know what? Let's come together. Let's figure out a master plan. Let's put some things on the chalkboard and let's see how we can make this work. And by them doing that, and then they came together and they talked to us as their employees, and now all of a sudden the whole day has just been filled with peace. Now relate that back to your life. If you and the person who you are in conflict with, if y'all actually sat down and said, you know what are some things you want to do? What are some things I want to do? Let's come together. Let's put that on the board and let's figure this thing out. And let's see if that will work. Sometimes we just have to come together. And once we finally figure out the solution, everything's possible. Let's take our time with each other. Let's listen. When I say listen to each other, I mean no talking, just ears. And I feel like I'm talking like to my kids at the school, because I'm like, we got to listen with our ears, not with our mouths. Because if everyone is doing this, no one is doing this. And sometimes it takes this so that before we can get up here, and so that we can understand this just a little bit more. But when we're doing this,
Wow.
no one's listening.
I remember my grandmother used to always tell me, you want to know why God bless you with one mouth and two ears? So
Hmm.
you can talk less and listen more.
That part.
And I said, oh wow. She always used to tell me as a kid, because I had a rebuttal for everything. And she'd be like, you got to talk less and listen more. And you got to understand what you hear goes to your mind and your soul. You know,
Mm,
that's a big thing why I'm cautious what I play on the radio. Cautious of the music I listen to. I'm cautious of a lot of things when people speak because words have power. Like a lot of
mm,
people do not understand your words have power. My team breaks me out of me saying I'm broke. I'm broke. They know that's my favorite
mm.
line. Hey, I'm broke. And they was like, words have power. We can't do that.
Yeah.
And I remember when we purchased our home, um, I spoke that thing. Man, I'm buying a house in 6 months. Man, I'm buying a house in 6 months. And I promised my account was negative $400. Looking at them. Man, I'm buying a house in 6 months. Man,
Mm.
and we moving. We went and bought boxes and didn't even have no money in the bank. Lord, you know what, God? We're gonna figure it out, but we about to move and slowly watch God unravel that thing and make things happen. So that's another important thing about this seminar is making sure that you're around the positive testimonies and you're
Yeah.
around the words of affirmations and you're around um definitely the faith. You're around it so that the words that are being said, that are being prophesied, that are being talked about can resonate in your life. So that's I definitely concur with that. And that's the season that I feel like we're in where, hey, we got to go to stuff like this because again, you will be overcome by the words of testimony. You'll be listening and be like, you know what, my life really isn't as bad as I thought. Let me keep on pushing, because let me tell you
Mm,
something. One thing about a storm can't last forever. Tell me what
mm.
storm. They just had Barrow last week, and yes, it was bad. Yes, it was terrible. People are still without lights a week later, but guess what, the storm never lasts forever.
Reset.
You get where I'm coming
That's
from?
that reset right there.
And when you get to reset, when you get to talking like that, that made me want to preach now, sis. Because when you said it
You missed
earlier,
it on Sunday.
you
You missed it on
you
Sunday.
when you said it earlier, I said, oh, that's a word that it can preach right there. We serve a God that you can hit the reset button. And I'm talking about somebody that's lived it, and it's crazy because it reminds me of my video games when I was little. When it has a power button and then a reset button that you didn't even have to turn it off. You could just click the button and the whole game will reset. But I believe that I serve a God. See, you gonna
Come
get me
on.
started up in here. That God can reset your life if you just trust Him. And that's when it comes to faith. My favorite subject and my favorite thing to preach from Hebrews 11:1. It says faith is the substance. That's telling me the definition of what faith is. Faith
Yeah.
is the substance of things hoped for. Then it goes back. Let's break that down. Is faith is the substance. That means it's the thought. It's the
Yeah.
it's the what you're speaking of things that you're hoping for. I'm moving into a new home. I'm going to a new address. I'm getting a new car. I'm
Yeah.
getting a new husband. I'm getting a
Yeah.
new wife. I'm getting a family. I'm getting my mind back. I'm
Yeah.
getting my children back.
Come on.
I will overcome. You got to speak that thing. For faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. It's crazy because now I have the key to the home that nobody's seen. The house was on the market for all this time waiting on us. But let me tell you something. It goes down to say, without faith, if you go down to verse number 6, it says, without faith, it is impossible to please God. So it comes back to tell me that if you want to please God, that means
Yeah.
you got to get your faith together. And
Yeah.
do understand, it's never too late
Come
to
on.
reset.
Come
It's
on.
never too late to reset. I dare, if I was at church, I would tell
Come
somebody to
on,
high
somebody.
five somebody and tell them it's never too late
You can
to
high five
reset.
me.
Listen, it's never too late to reset, and you got to take it and you got to run with it because one thing, two things for sure, You can go over and over. But I'm telling you, when you hit the reset button, and he didn't hit the power button, it's right next to the power. So that tells me that it wasn't over. We
Yeah,
just reset. Yeah,
yeah.
we might have got somewhere where we got stuck, but we can reset. And guess what? You might have to start over. But and I'm gonna even go here. I don't know if you remember. This might be telling my age. This might be telling my age. But back in the day, if you knew how to go to the special part of the game, even when it even when it reset, even when it reset, you could go up through the sky and
Yeah.
skip a couple rounds. You can skip a couple
Come,
levels, and before you know it, you back where you started, if
come
not
on.
further. You know what I'm saying? I got stuck on level 2, but I hit the skip button. God took me up and took me through the skip, and now I'm on level 6. So the reset sometimes is not always bad. That's the thing. A lot of people think that the reset is bad. The reset isn't always bad.
And see, here's the thing. This is bringing back to what we talked about on Sunday about this reset. See, it was a reset to starting over. And see, starting over it is not the hard part, it's the letting go part. Because a lot of people are not ready to let go of their past. They're not ready to let go of the things they used to do yet. So therefore they like, I want to do this, but I don't want to stop doing that. But see, in order for you to start over, in order for that reset, in order for because God don't have no problem with resetting you. If he's trying to fix something, he don't have no problem with that. But it's up to us to say, you know what? In order for me to meet God halfway, I'm gonna have to let go of some things so therefore I can really feel what God is trying to do. In order for me to get that new business,
Wow.
I'm gonna have to let go in order for me to get to my new business, I'm gonna have to let go of bad spending habits. I'm gonna have to set a budget for myself. In order for me to move into that house or get that car I want, I'm gonna have to reset. I'm gonna have to let go of from where I stay at. And yes, I'm gonna be uncomfortable, but sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They like being in their comfort zone. They like knowing I know where that's at. I know where that's at. I know where that's at. But see, you have to get to a point where you don't know where it's at. It's
Wow.
okay because guess what? God know where it's at. And
Yeah.
so you have to start trusting them. But a lot of us is scared. A lot of us been hurt so many times we're afraid. We're afraid to finally just trust. But see, God told us if you just put your trust in me, I will do all things. I can
Yeah.
help you get to that level you're trying to get to. I can
Yeah.
help you get to that job you're trying to get to. I can get you into that mansion in the sky if you just let me. If you just
Yeah.
let me take the wheel, I will guide you where you're supposed to be going.
Order
But you
your
trying
step.
so busy trying to go in the direction you want to go in.
Yeah.
You don't have control.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like I tell a lot of people, and I taught this last Thursday. It comes back to 180. It comes back to why
Yeah.
is 180 so you just said it. Sometimes you have to turn your back on everything you know. I'll never
Hmm.
forget. I had so many friends. I promise I could fill a whole mansion full of friends for my birthday party. They had a line outside, and you could get out. I can get out and go back to what I know. But when you do 180, guess what? Sometimes you there by yourself. It's just
Whew.
you and God. And guess what? Sometimes you gotta let go, man. But that's my friend. That's my A1 from day one. I've been knowing them since we was in diapers. And guess what? Sometimes you gotta let that stuff go and say, you know what? I done changed my mind. I remember my grandmother, priestess, and my mama used to tell us, you tell the devil I changed my mind. I dare
I've
you to
changed
tell the
mine.
devil I changed my mind. Because
I've changed.
sometimes when you do that 180 life, when you do that 180, it's definitely it's yeah, yeah,
It's gonna hit. You got to turn your back to some things. It's okay. Turn your back to the devil. It's all right. He don't care. He ain't worth it. He ain't worth you facing him. Turn your back to him. It's all right. Oh, man, this is. I'm just really happy. See, this is the reason why you the host because you know where it's supposed to go. You know where it's supposed to go. And man, so I'm humbled. I'm happy. I'm overjoyed right now because you don't. And when I say this, this, when I say this is one of the hardest events,
Yeah.
but I knew it's worth it. See, I'm one of those people that obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people because I'm like, no matter how I felt about an event, I was at one point where I was scared and I was like, I might have to cancel this. And but God told me, like, this not your event to cancel, this mine.
Wow.
Your job is just to do what I'm telling you to do.
Yeah.
As long as you continue to pour into the people, pour into the stuff I'm telling you to pour into, I'm going to pour back into you.
Yeah.
Stop stressing over nothing. Stop stressing over the things I told you not to stress over. And
Wow.
so right now I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling joyful, and I'm like, whether it's one or 1,000, I know God has a message, and I know that it's going to be delivered because He done set up
Yeah.
all who He wanted.
Yeah.
He set up. When I say people's hand chosen, they're not hand chosen by me.
Yeah.
They hand chosen because God is picking them. God knows who He wants to. He knew who He wanted to host. He knows who He wanted to DJ. He knows who He wanted to speak. He knew that He talking about when it came down to the panel discussion. He knows who He wants to do that. He knew He wanted KG Smooth because when he when I sit there and look at the people that's on that panel, from KG Smooth, from Magic 102. Anyone who listens to him on Sundays, not at night on Quiet Storm, but on Sundays, when he has his cultural podcast and
Mhm.
he's talking about things in our community that we need, when he gives us those motivational quotes, when he teaches us how to do our breathing exercises.
Mhm.
See, there was a reason for everything. Then you have Antron Harris. See, the actor Antron Harris, when you people look at him on the outside like, oh my gosh, he's this, that's him. But they don't say, but you don't know what he's going through on the inside and how he's dealing with everything without showing a sweat on his forehead. He's going through it. He's letting you know what he's facing. Then you got Damian Valentine, who's not just an actor, but not on top of that, he has his own youth mentoring program where he's teaching young men how to grow up and become wise men and how to become strong men,
Yeah.
strong Black men that's not afraid to show who they truly are and be a, a warrior for God.
Yeah.
So when I look at that and knowing that these are the people that was put there from the panel discussion, from the artists that sharing their testimonies, through the speakers to the host to when I tell you about this DJ, and you know him,
Yeah.
I when I met when I tell you about DJ Ray, when I first met him, I was like, okay, he's in the hip hop field. So I wasn't thinking, and you when you first met, I felt like you felt the same way when it came down to it. I'm like, what is the DJ gonna do at a seminar?
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah.
the DJ really gonna do at a seminar? But then when he came through for it was something that happened at the gala, the honorary gala, the night before the seminar,
Mhm.
and he got on the microphone and started singing.
Mhm.
And I was like, I sat back like, I never heard him sing like that. And I'm like, that man has a story to tell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then he started talking about his story.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, how the spirit of the Lord just took over the whole entire room. And I was like, that man right there.
Yeah.
That's when I started after that moment, I started listening more. I was like, I need to understand where men are coming from. I know where women coming from.
Yeah.
We talking all the time,
Yeah.
but I need these Black men to speak up a little bit more because they got something to say.
Yeah.
Y'all got something to say.
Hey,
God
yeah.
put something on y'all hearts to say, and I feel like this is the season just to speak y'all minds and let it be out because
Yeah.
y'all been quiet too long. And
Mhm.
yeah, I know people talking about, oh no, they always talk. No, men are not always talking. Men sit down and observe before they start talking. And they try to
Right.
figure out who's in the room. But see, it's time. And we need to have that. That's why the Amsar seminar is a safe space.
Right.
It's a safe space for you to be able to vent, for you to let go, for you to really speak what's on your mind, and no one is judging you. No
Wow.
one is holding you back from how you truly feel. If you want to cry on that stage, if the Lord is like, cry. It's okay to. It's okay to shed tears. This is the emotional roller coaster ride. It's gonna take you there. It's gonna take you on the ride you never thought of. You might be sitting in the audience like, woo, and feel something just come out of you. That's the reason why this man is the host. Because I know that y'all gonna either laugh, y'all gonna cry, or something in between. But at the end of the day, y'all gonna feel something and y'all gonna make a transformation that day.
And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be in the building. Listen, guys, make sure that you go get your tickets. Go get your tickets now. Go
Yes.
get your tickets now. Thank you so much, everybody. Miss Felicia Shantell in the building, our founder. Listen, if you have not gotten your tickets, you can go onto Facebook. Go to the Eventbrite. You will see the page for the event. I'm a Survivor Seminar. Dear Black King, tell the story, Black Diamond Gala. Your host with the most will be Mr. 180. I will be in Houston, Texas. I'm so excited for the weekend. I'm so excited for everything that's going on that weekend. I will be there. Executive producer Lady K. Production manager is Nina Sunshine. I'm so grateful to see what is going to unravel. I'm so happy. Some people I do know, some people I don't. It will be my first time meeting some of these people. So I'm so grateful to be networking. I'm so grateful to be a part of this wonderful event. Listen, guys, make sure that you go get your tickets. Go get your tickets. Go get your tickets. If you are catching this on a replay, please put hashtag replay. Let us know that something was said, something that moved you. And listen, it's going to go down. Miss Felicia Shantell, thank you so much for coming and joining us. Before you go, we got to pay a couple of these bills, guys. Listen, you already know what time it is. It's Sin Styles, sinstyles.com. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle. All you got to do is go to sinstyles.com. They have original quality, custom designs, custom collections, many colors and styles to choose from. Make sure that you go over to sinstyles.com. Guess what, guys? It is available now because I survived. From victim to victory, stories of survivors told by Archie, Ashia, Jonathan, Centria, and Zandra. Go get your copies on Amazon or 180life.com. Look, everybody, tomorrow, look, the podcast took off last Friday. We talked about divorce in the Black. Tomorrow, we will be talking about The Beekeeper. Have you checked that movie out? Go over to Amazon Prime. Make sure that you watch it because tomorrow, me and my co-host, Miss Martina, will be in the studio doing our thing, talking about The Beekeeper. But thank you so much. Big shout out to Miss Felicia Shantell and her whole team. Thank you so much for coming by to the 180 show, for chilling with us. Look, go follow her on Facebook. Let everybody know what your Facebook and your Instagram is.
You can find me on Facebook at Felicia Shantell, which is basically the name on the screen, Felicia Shantell. Or you can go follow me on Instagram either at Felicia Shantell or IAG Productions. That's IAG. I am Goddess. IAG Productions. Look for the Golden Goddess hair. You'll never miss it.
Hey, so we're gonna take y'all out with a couple commercials. Thank you so much for coming and seeing us. We will see y'all next week. We'll see y'all tomorrow if you tuned in.
Get your subscription now at 180life.com, 180lyfe.com. You don't want to miss these up and coming entrepreneurs, inspirational stories, things that can help the whole family, from recipes to fun to inspiration. Go get your subscription now over at 180life.com.
K Zamore Production presents the hit gospel stage play, Deadly Sins, coming to the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, August 17th. One day, 2 shows. Tickets available on Ticketmaster and the T-Ball box office. The hit gospel stage play, Deadly Sins, starring Wilmo Leon, Kaylin Wilkerson, and Dallas's own CC Godbolt. The hit gospel stage play, Deadly Sins.
If you stay in environments where people don't recognize the value of you, you will shrink your gift to the size of what they can stand. And that's what causes anxiety and depression and stress, because you have had to shrink I refuse to be small because you think small. I'm not shrinking my vision because you can't catch up. You either better roll with me or you gonna get rolled over.